Thursdays are juvenile court. Okay, we are live. So we can have the meeting call to order and do we'll request that a roll call be read according to the Kansas Open Meetings Act, and that there has been confirmation that all the notices have been sent.
Yes, confirmation was sent.
Okay, and will you do the roll call, please?
Commissioner Ryden. I believe she is online. Commissioner Ryden, can you hear me? Commissioner Ryden, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Commissioner Heck? Commissioner Castle?
Here.
Commissioner Kroger?
Here.
Commissioner Arnold? Commissioner Lamar?
Here.
Commissioner Carver? Youth on Board Carter.
So we were missing one. Did Commissioner Heck say yes? Because we have 3 in person and we need one more. It appears that Commissioner Heck is online. We're trying to get her unmuted so that we can have that confirmation. Or in chat, it looks like she maybe if.
Commissioner Heck? Commissioner Heck, can you hear me?
If you can hear us, can you put a thumbs up or something in the chat? We can see your number.
She's muted, but I don't know.
Can you send her a chat?
Hello?
Hello?
Commissioner Heck, can you hear us?
Hi, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
Sorry, we needed you for the quorum. So now we can officially say we have a quorum.
Sorry, I was trying to email you guys and let you know that I was here.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. We appreciate it. If you have any issues and you don't hear yourself online, please send a chat. We'll have someone trying to monitor that so you can participate. But at least we have everyone present. With that, we'll move to the next item on the agenda. Table that for just a second. We don't have a chair or a vice chair today, so we are looking for someone, now that we make sure we have a quorum and the proper notice has been set, that someone would like to run the meeting for today and be the voluntary pro tem chair of the meeting. Do I have anyone that is willing and able to do that? Commissioner Castle?
I know. I'll be willing. I'm not sure I'm able.
Oh, I have full confidence in your ability, and we appreciate you stepping up. If you would mind, we've left off then, we've done the formalities under section 1, but we're on number 2 of the approval of the minutes would be the next item.
Okay. Do I just ask for approval, a motion to approve the minutes as
Yes.
as they stand?
Yes.
Does anybody approve the minutes as they stand? Is there a motion to approve the minutes as they stand?
I move to approve.
Okay.
Okay.
Which commissioner was that?
Oh, that's Commissioner Heck.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Heck.
Is there a second?
Oh, a second?
Commissioner Lamar?
Okay.
Yes.
So minutes are approved.
Vote.
Oh, we have to
All
vote.
approve. All approve.
Oh, all approve, say aye.
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 The minutes are approved. Apparently, there's no new business.
Correct.
Okay,
And no public hearings at this time.
okay. So we have some new members. Andrea Young,
And I think Commissioner Reardon now instead of Young,
Oh,
or
okay.
name change, is online.
okay. And Aubrey Heck is online.
Correct.
Thomas Carver,
And I don't think he's present.
okay. And Youth on Board, Cameron Carter,
Is he present? He's not present. Not present.
okay.
Okay. But welcome to the new members. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
And so now we turn it over to the guest speaker, Jeff Hammond, Director of Parks and Recreations for the City of Salina.
Thank you.
Hello, advisory board members. My name is Jeff Hammond. I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation. For the last few years, I've had the opportunity to come before this board to discuss projects that we've been working on, accessibility improvements in our parks, with sidewalks mostly. Michelle has always asked me to provide this board with anything we have potentially in the future, and to give feedback on, to have a something of consequence that you can contribute to that project, and we have something for you today. This is part of a grant opportunity that we are pursuing through Live Well Saline County and Blue Cross and Blue Shield for the Pathways Grant. It's a project which Lily's bringing up the presentation, and it should be part of your packet, is for a inclusive playground in Indian Rock Park. Indian Rock Park is just north of Bill Burke. It's along the corners of Gypsum Avenue and Indiana Avenue, near the USD 305 school building. On the northwest side of that park, we envisioned a playground many years ago as part of our playground replacement plan. However, we wanted to do it as a destination style playground that have many, many inclusive features. And what I mean by inclusive is features that can be accessible by anybody. So I'm going to go through a little bit of a process here with these slides. And so as I said, we're excited to partner through a possible grant for Live Well Saline County, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas, for Pathways to a Healthy Kansas initiative to create a new park space at Indian Rock Park, and that contains a playground. That playground would be, well, I'll get into that in a minute. Our vision is a playground where everyone can participate and enjoy the natural beauty of Indian Rock Park. To make sure this is a space for everyone, we are designing the northwest portion of the park to be accessible for those with physical, emotional, and sensory disabilities. We want your feedback on the draft plan to help us design the most accessible park amenity possible. We'll share our current vision for this plan and then open it up to your feedback. And that goes for people that are in attendance and online as well. We've passed out sticky notes. Actually, there's some sticky notes, so if you don't feel that you want to share your comments publicly and want to write them down as I'm talking, that's fine too. But they would become part of the minutes later on when Michelle and Lily publish the minutes. So if you have any ideas while I'm talking, please write them down. As I'm going through the presentation, I'm not going to read all this word for word, but I talked about our vision a little bit. We've always talked about a playground at, so vision-wise, we really love the idea of Olivia's Playground. If anybody's been to Olivia's Playground, it's a playground in Salina that's actually operated by the hospital. That's probably the most inclusive playground we have in Salina, but the city would like to do something similar at Indian Rock Park. We want children of all abilities to play safely together. We don't have a playground at Indian Rock, so this would be a new project, a new mini park plan to incorporate that inclusive playground. And we're excited to partner with Live Well Saline County, Blue Cross Blue Shield. So from the and we're trying to gather your feedback. So the total scope of work of what we would do to make this possible within that northwest corner of Indian Rock Park. There are existing trails that are gravel or limestone gravel trails. Want to widen those sidewalks and we want to be able to convert those to concrete. We want to include lighting, so we have well-lit paths. We want to put in a shelter house that has accessible bathrooms nearby. We want to include parking in this, bike racks, and have some inclusive features of the playground, and then possibly integrate some art and also some educational panels, but really address those disabilities I mentioned, whether they be emotional disabilities such as autism or sensory disabilities, sight, sound, or physical disabilities. As I said, we talked about we have a playground replacement plan, and we provided a slide of some of our recent replacements of playgrounds. And the second page of that is a future replacements that we have planned. And you can see Indian Rock is coming up. Indian Rock, as I said, although the Indian Rock is not a replacement, there's not a playground currently at Indian Rock. However, there is a playground that was across the street at a former park called Glenifer Hill Park, which was next to USD 305. And that is no longer a park space for the city of Salina. It's public land, and the city is trying to possibly sell that land, and now gives us the opportunity to receive some additional funding for this playground. So there's a slide, and one of the pages of the slide is a conceptual design. However, I have an updated design that I would like to give you. Lily's going to put that on the screen. It's a separate document, and this is get back to the microphone so you can hear me. This was just published 2 days ago from an architect that we hired relating to that Indian rock space. So this is replacing the document that's in the slideshow. And as you can see, this northwest corner, which is to the north, is Gypsum Avenue, where the USD 305 administrative offices are, and to the west is Indiana Avenue, if that gives you a perspective of where you're at. There's an existing trail to the on the north side of the park. There's also an existing trail on the far west side of the park that's not on this map. There is an existing concrete drive that goes to the park. And this is our vision of this additional parking space, a new shelter, a accessible restroom. Those are in orange if you are able to see that. And then green would be the 8,000 square feet of playground space. This would be our largest playground that we have in Salina, in the City Park system. And then you can see the accessible pathways where it connects to the north to that currently crushed lime trail that we want to convert to concrete, and then connects to the concrete drive. The parking connects to the restroom and the shelter house, and then connects to the playground. There is existing parking in Indian Rock that you see on the south or the bottom of this page. That is existing parking with ADA spots and non-ADA spots. And as you go into the park a little further, which this drawing does not show, there's a shelter house there as well, and some seasonal restrooms. And then there's plenty of trails in Indian Rock Park as well. And this is providing a site drawing of the architectural plan of how we intend on developing this portion of the park. I imagine one of your questions might be about what does a playground look like? What does an accessible playground look like? And I have an example in the slide documents that I can show you. But typically, we do not design, city staff do not design playgrounds. We usually put a specification together of what we're looking for and send it out to manufacturers. We want it inside an 8,000 square foot space. We want it to be an inclusive playground. We want a variety of features. We want ground level so we put in the specifications of what we want. We generally put in a dollar amount of what we have to spend, and then they design something for us to fit within the footprint of the playground we're looking for. So this is the pathways that would be the part of the development of this future playground. Getting back to a few additional slides. I gave a description of what an inclusive playground is. It's typically a sensory-rich environment, helps children develop physically, socially, and emotionally. Offers a level of challenge, not only that, or the right level of challenge. And then it goes beyond the minimum requirements of accessibility to create play experiences that meet a variety of needs for able-bodied and disabled people alike. There's a picture of the next page on the slide is just an example of what an accessible playground looks like. Some of the different features, shade-covered benches. You can see there's ramps. That's an example of what a accessible playground looks like. So it's accessible from the ground to the highest feature to the lowest feature.
Can you give Jeff, I don't mean to interrupt, but could you give a little more description for maybe people that can't see very well or give a just detailed description of that picture, kind of what's in it?
Sure. What you're looking at is a very large playground, most likely much larger than what we are planning for 8,000 square feet. But it has shade structures that are covering seating benches for seating. There is a there is a ramp that is accessible at ground level that goes up in elevation to allow someone with accessible ambulatory issues or in a wheelchair or something like that to be able to access all points of this playground. And then there's opportunities to come down in different ways, whether that be a slide. And then there are interactive features as well, where you can go into and you can physically move certain features of it to interact with it. So you can kind of inspire some of those tactile functions of play. And again, this is just an example of one playground vendor who has done an accessible playground. This is most likely not what ours would look like. Estimated timeline, we're working on a survey. The survey's already completed. We have a conceptual design for the playground space and that mini park plan. We'll complete that by the end of the year for an architectural design. We anticipate a phased approach because of funding. We're looking at the grant funding. We potentially have a donor that wishes to fund a portion of the playground. And then in 2027, we actually will be getting the most of our funds for the playground components. So some questions for the board that we're looking for feedback for. Let's see. Our vision is a park that's accessible to all children in our community, including those with physical, emotional, and sensory disabilities. How can we make this park more accessible? And this meeting's being recorded, so you probably didn't see me taking notes, but it will be recorded, so I can capture notes from the recording of the recording of the meeting. So any feedback you wish to share is perfectly great. Now, if you don't feel comfortable, there is that note taking. Yes, ma'am.
What is because I know like the other playgrounds have mulch. What is the covering on this going to be?
That's a great question. I should have covered that. As part of our RFP or our proposals that we would send out to playground manufacturers, we want to do a pour-in-place type surface, which the three main types of playground surfacing are engineered wood fiber mulch, which is kind of like wood mulch, or rubber mulch, rubber pellets, or a pour-in-place. Ideally, the most accessible approach is that pour-in-place, and the playground at Olivia's Playground has a pour-in-place surface, and then pour-in-place surface, and then one of our most recent playgrounds the city did, has that as well at Lakewood Park. The nice thing about and then let me describe pour-in-place a little bit, if you don't mind. I call it that, but it's really a rubber pellet that's mixed with a glue that's troweled on for a soft surface, a rubber surface, but it can be done at whatever elevation you wish, so it can match elevations of the sidewalk that's coming and meeting the playground. It's a great surface. It lasts 15 to 20 years. It's the most expensive service as well.
How easy is it for a wheelchair to travel over?
As far as I've seen, I used to run a water park many years ago in Florida, and we had that coating over everything. All the concrete surface of the deck was coated in this rubberized coating, and it was an excellent surface to walk on, even when wet or dry. And have personally witnessed at least hundreds of people in wheelchairs, whether motorized or arm-powered, going over that surface. It has a little bit of slip resistance, so you don't slip on it, but it's not hard on your feet either, so it wouldn't be hard on wheels. It's great for crutches, especially with crutches that have a real rubber tip, because then you hit the rubber on rubber for that rubber surface. Works really well. It is an ideal surface for this type of playground, and we would incorporate that into one of our requests for playground proposals and designs.
Okay.
Thank you for asking. So that would be ideal. That's what you would want to see, that type of surface. If, yeah, I agree.
Mr. Hammond, part of your presentation included concrete trails along Indiana and along Gypsum. Is that, those are just along the streets, is that correct? And will there be any closer to the actual lake or nature area?
Those trails are existing trails that we would be replacing with concrete. And those are the two that we've identified in this project that we would be replacing or converting from limestone gravel to concrete. At this time, there's no other plans to convert any other existing trails in Indian Rock or create new trails. Does that answer your question?
Yes, and if I remember right, it's on a graded slope. Are they able to access, people in a wheelchair, would they be able to access all of the trails? Like, is that a reasonable grade to be able to go up and down?
On the hill, which is not part of this project, if that's what you're referring to.
No, I really mean along Indiana and Gypsum. Are those flat enough?
I understand what you're saying. When we convert to concrete, we would make sure it is an accessible slope that meets them, that probably meets the requirement or exceeds the requirement of slope. The trail from north to south along Indiana is very flat. The trail going from west to east along Gypsum does have some elevation change, but we would, when we create that sidewalk or that trail replacement with concrete, we have to have an engineer look at that, and the engineer would design it appropriately for the elevation change that we do have.
I guess I have one more question. Sure. On your timeline, phase 4 is picnic shelter. What are we doing with the existing picnic shelter and I think you said seasonal restrooms?
It would stay. It would stay there. We don't have any designs or intent on removing it. There will be a bathroom remodel coming to Indian Rock Park for that space in the next 2 years. So we will be remodeling those bathrooms in the next 2 years. Any other questions about, or comments or feedback for question number 1? Yes, ma'am.
I have you have a couple of spots designated for, they're called van accessible, but I like to call them ramp accessible parking, because they need to be you have to have the white spot for the ramp.
Yes, that was one item that I had asked for for our architect to include, was a kind of a bigger hash mark area.
Yes, because you're going to have people with ramps. I mean, as an adult in this town, I have trouble finding a place that where I can put my ramp down. And I feel like, I don't know how many people will be coming that have ramps, but I feel like 2's not enough.
I would have to agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that meets the requirement, but probably
meets
doesn't
the-
exceed the requirement.
Yeah.
And we would rather, for this project,
Yeah.
we would like to do better.
Yeah. And another problem is that a lot of people park in the van accessible because they may have something that looks like a van without realizing that it's for the ramp. So even if somebody comes in, they may be taken up by somebody that doesn't really use it for a ramp.
That may have an ADA, tag, or a handicap tag, but not use it, but not a van. Is that an example what you would?
They would have the
found?
handicap tag, which I'm sure they need, but they wouldn't have the ramp. And
Got
so
it. Understood.
it limits people with ramps for spaces
Understand.
to park.
So your feedback would be more than two van accessible spots?
If possible.
Okay, yeah. I think we've shown plenty of parking here. I think our planning people haven't looked at it to determine if my parking plan meets the requirements of city code. But I think we have opportunity to put more ADA accessible spaces in. Thank you for that feedback. And I guess I'm going to move on to question 2, unless there is more feedback. We want to know if there's anything else you think is important for us to know for this playground. What are we missing? Where have we possibly missed the mark? One of our original thoughts was, the bathroom is a seasonal bathroom at Indian Rock Park. That was brought up already, but it's too far away. It's only a seasonal nature bathroom. It's not year-round use. So that's something we immediately figured out that, we need to do better than that seasonal bathroom. So we've added the bathroom out of the restroom. Sorry, restroom. Thank you. Try not to say bathroom. So what are we missing, if anything? I imagine we're missing something, but I mentioned lighting. This doesn't. When we get this a more fine-tuned architectural drawing, it'll show lighting. We'll need some lighting around the parking lot. We'll need a lighting around the accessible trail or accessible pathways. We'll need ramps. We'll need to show ramps. So things like that. So this is a conceptual look right now, and it's in a draft form. And this is the opportunity that I'm looking for feedback. We also are going to be going towards different groups in town that have some part of their business or part of their organization has to do with accessibility. One being OCCK, and then one being some CAPS, which is a children and parents organization in town. So we'll be doing a similar exercise with them. We also see this playground being very popular with daycares. So speaking of people that bring ramps in or bring vans in without ramps. So, okay.
May I say something, Mr. Hammond? I know I'm not part of the commission, but I would have 2 things. One,
You're
I think
fine.
you should look at Independent Connections as another resource of place to get feedback from.
I think we had that on our list.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know you said OCCK and CAPS, but I think they'd be another good
Okay.
resource. And then I was going to say, I don't know if there's a way to incorporate like any QR codes or things that people could use so other maybe individuals who are visually has some visual difficulties could see or could use those QR codes and get some auditory feedback and doing those different signs
Right.
around.
Sure.
I don't know if that's something.
I have seen that in different playground installations. I think on one hand, it's up to the playground. If the playground manufacturer offers that
Yeah.
in their proposals, if we put in the RFP, we're probably somewhat restricting
Yeah.
our returns on proposals, but it's certainly a possibility.
We have someone really good on staff that commutes, can help us make our own and just have our own placard too if we have
Okay.
something we want to say
Oh,
too.
okay, yeah.
I'll volunteer Marissa for that.
All great feedback. I appreciate you so much. Angelica, is there anything else I need to cover? I forgot to do some introductions. Brett Lamer, who's our Deputy Parks and Recreation Director behind me, and Angelica Carrillo is our Grant Coordinator for the City of Salina. So thank you. I forgot to do that in the beginning. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate it.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you. So if you did write any notes on those Post-it notes,
We'll pick 'em
myself
up.
or Lily will pick them up and we'll get those recorded into the minutes. Thank you so much.
And if anyone online has them, you can email them to Marissa or Community Relations Division. Yeah.
Okay, so we're ready for staff report? Is that what we're ready for?
I have to look. We are ready for 3.3, yes, staff report.
Okay.
With that, thank you for your time. You should have received in your packets a form that I kind of want to go over a little bit on our staff report and just mention. So what we usually like to put together is a report on who's eligible for elections, who's on the board, and kind of give everyone names before we do elections. And so that's what we've put together for you. I would note that in our bylaws, there is no requirement that someone has to be a board member for a certain length of time before they can hold the positions of chair or vice chair. But we do usually recommend that. In this situation, we have a lot of new, which we're very thankful to have a lot of new members and several members that have gone off. So what we try to do is reach out to the individuals that are current members and see what their feelings are, if they'd like to be vice chair, or if they have an interest in doing that. In this situation, we had some individuals that aren't able to do it at this time, but I would note, and you have that in front of you, so Mary Lee Arnold is a current member who is eligible but does not wish to be nominated or prefer not to be nominated. Commissioner Lamar, Nancy Lamar, she is eligible but doesn't prefer to be nominated. Commissioner Donna Castle, who is serving today as our chair pro tem, she is eligible and willing to serve as vice chair, would be her preference. And then Commissioner Kroger, Kirsten, did I say? Kirsten Kroger is eligible for chair or vice chair, but I believe at this time we did understand you prefer not to serve. And then we have the new members who were just introduced, and so we did not pull them in advance. And it is, in our bylaws, you are eligible to serve. So I just wanted to do a little bit further into what is required of our boards. Our vice chair and chair really run the meetings. That is the primary duty. We don't have a lot of off duties. I know sometimes you get on those volunteer boards and you're in charge of fundraising and a lot of extra things that you may not expect. This isn't that type of board, I can assure you. The primary duties of the chair and vice chair, the chair is to serve and run the meeting. So generally go through the roll call. They're the ones that do, the chair is responsible for determining whose time it is to speak. So if you have, and that's a lot of meetings, we don't have a lot of participation from the public. Some of the meetings do, but that is the primary role of the chair, is to control the meeting, set the agenda, run through the agenda, organize the agenda, recognize speakers if you do have public, and follow that. That is the primary function of our chair and vice chair, is to serve when the chair is not available. Otherwise, then we have to go to a pro tem situation and ask someone in the vice chair and chair, which doesn't happen very often. It's just that happens to be that our vice chair and chair rolled off the board, and so we didn't have anyone then for this first meeting when they are no longer on the board. So that's kind of why we had a pro tem today. Usually we try and make sure that we have one of them available for the meeting. So This isn't very often that we have a pro tem situation, but those are the primary duties of someone if they're willing to serve. So before we move to the next section, I just wanted to go through that. The other thing that we put in the staff report and reminded is that we've kind of had, in the recent years, we developed some advisory groups that separate, and we just have a liaison that kind of helps staff with these particular issues and then reports back on what's happening on these issues. And that's the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines and YCAG implementation, which we've kind of combined with the transition plan. Last time the person still owned those because the web content accessibility guidelines are really kind of part of the city's transition plan and things that we're doing to update and make us more compliant. It's a work in progress, right? Always trying to update and continuing as things evolve. And then the training, someone that helps. We do a training once a year. We had our second one this year, and we're going to continue and like to continue to have a seminar that we do in October for individuals talking about different relevant issues. This year we had stuff on service animals and had a demonstration from service animals. We've talked about how VAWA intersects with some things. I'm trying to think of some of the other topics we've had, but we've done two. We had someone come in and do an example of what they're doing in another city in Denver, some of the things they've done to make businesses have a voluntary accessibility. I can't remember what she called it, but it was like a recognition and a certification. If you meet certain requirements and they've come in and checked you in Denver, you can have a certificate that says you're an accessible business and receive kind of like a recognition from the city. So that was a speaker that we had come in. But we're trying to continue that to do. So the training committee would be helping on that and any other ideas for the trainings and speakers for that event and any other trainings. Then we have someone that helps us with the resource list. Every year we update a resource list, which is an evolving thing. And so the liaison kind of helps staff and maintain that list and update it. But staff does assist. It isn't something that anyone does alone on these liaisons and these committees. We don't need to have those elected today, but we will have to have a chair and vice chair as part of this meeting, someone designated to be those roles. And that's the kind of the summary of my report. Now, unless anyone has any questions, that concludes what I have to say on the staff report portion.
Okay, so what do I have to ask for nominations?
So we would move to section 3.4 on the election of officers, and if we have any volunteers or nominations.
Is that in here?
Yeah, and we only fill the two roles, the chair and vice chair, are what this committee fills.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's on the first page, 3.4, election of officers, on page 1 of the agenda.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. I was looking for a big paragraph.
No, on this, we just have the election of officers on the agenda item. The staff report's the big paragraph.
Okay. So I need to ask for nominations. Okay, are there any nominations for vice chair or chairman first?
Chair first.
Chair first. Is there any nominations? Does anybody nominate anybody for chair? Somebody that's not here that we can nominate?
Well, there are two new members that weren't able to make it this time, I think, or one, Mr. Carver, Thomas Carver, and Lily, who else are we missing?
Not present, our youth on board.
Okay.
Our two other new members are online.
Okay. Are there any other members that aren't necessarily new that we're missing? Everyone else is here. Okay. So, and I would mention that the youth on board, they're not eligible to serve. So.
I'm sorry, what?
The youth on board cannot serve. They cannot
Yes.
be elected.
Right. Okay.
Anyone? I would note that if you have experience running meetings, that there, we will always work with you as staff, and we'll work to set the agenda and do all of that and provide it as far in advance as you need, and assure anyone that is willing to serve as chair that we will assist you in every way possible on that. But if anyone is interested in taking on that role, and you can have a leadership experience.
I'm willing to serve as chair.
This
This is Commissioner Heck, by the way.
That would be outstanding, in my opinion.
So, vote?
Yep. Are there any other nominations? No, I think you can move to vote.
Everybody in favor of Commissioner Heck becoming chair? Say aye.
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 All opposed?
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay, so I guess Commissioner Heck is now our new chair.
Thank you.
Hey, thank
Yay,
you.
a big round of applause, and thank you. And we will certainly get with you soon.
Thank you.
And so now we need nominations for vice chair.
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody have a nomination for vice chair? Is there anybody?
This is Commissioner Reardon. I can nominate myself as vice chair.
I'm sorry, I thought she was the one.
It's the other. That's the other one online.
Okay, all right.
And that was Commissioner Reardon, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Are there any other nominations? You nodding at me.
No, I think you can move to.
Okay. All in favor of Commissioner Reardon becoming vice chair, say aye. Aye?
Aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Commissioner Reardon has been nominated and elected as vice chair.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Okay, so it looks like assigned members for liaison reports. Do we want to do that today?
And that does not have to be done today. If people want to take a moment, we can do that at the next meeting. We can table it, or it can be done today. If there are any volunteers or any areas of interest that someone would like to step up and do today, it can be either way. This does not have to be done today.
Okay. Does anybody want to volunteer for any of these positions that are here today?
I'm interested in the training one.
Okay. And that, for the record, that's Commissioner Reardon, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any other takers?
This is Commissioner Heck. I'm interested in the web content accessibility guidelines.
Okay, great. And Commissioner Heck, just we have kind of started combining those with the transition plan. Would you also be willing to serve on that one? And we can talk more about that, what that means.
Sure.
Okay. And that just leaves us the last one.
The resource list?
Commissioner Heck has agreed to combine. We're combining those, so.
I can volunteer for the resource list.
That would be great. Thank you. Commissioner Castle. Okay, that, I think, wraps up that item.
Okay. So unfinished business.
We have no items today for that matter, for that item. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I looked ahead of that. Unfinished business, the accessibility seminar summary and the how that went. I don't know if anyone has any feedback from that event. I know Commissioner Castle was a great presentation at that event. We enjoyed it immensely, and if there's any other feedback from that. I don't know that we've had a chance to put together the a graph or anything of the surveys that were presented. We had a few turned in. We did not have, not everyone that participated turned in a survey, but I don't know if Lily knows how many did.
No, I don't know.
So we will get that together, but we wanted to have the opportunity for everyone to provide their feedback that was able to be there at the event and any feedback this group has.
I thought the speakers were good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any areas of improvement, and we'll put together like a what the actual surveys were, like a graph of those, but
I don't know. There's always room for improvement, but
well, we'd love to hear your suggestions.
I'll have to think on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that nothing stood out so much that it was a dire need for improvement.
No, not really.
Okay. We look forward to having everyone participate next time. I don't know if Commissioner Lamar has any feedback.
I don't
Okay.
right now.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll look forward to having you all next year and working on that. And we'll get, by the next meeting, we'll have a summary of that. We did not have as many participate in the surveys as I would have liked, maybe 20% of the attendees, which we were excited. We were afraid for a while we didn't have that many. We pushed really hard to try and get attendees, but we ended up with a nice, I think, fair-sized crowd of 25 or 30 by the time it was done, would you say? Yeah, about 25, I'd say, with the speakers and the different vendor or different people there. I think it was probably close to that, but
I never saw any, outside of what the email you sent out, I never saw any notification or advertising or anything for it.
we sent out through email listservs. The United Way has one that we sent a few times. We have some postings on the city's website and the city's social media pages. And I'm trying to think of the other. There's a few groups that we sent it to, and they'd be listserv. Like we sent you the emails. We sent emails to several of those groups, but we don't have a lot of funding to do paid advertising and some announcements. We did a press release on it, and those types of avenues are the way we went this time. But any suggestions of any other groups or listservs or anything to go out to, we would certainly appreciate it. But
I guess those were all areas where I didn't
didn't
pay any
look.
attention or
Yeah. So yes, we don't have a big budget for it. I will say that. So we
Right.
can't do. I would love to do radio spots, but it's only what they will announce for free that we are able to do.
Is there anything else on the unfinished business of the?
Yes, the 4.2, we just announced the Fair Housing Seminar, which this group, we do in October. We started doing a seminar for this group. And then for our other board that we are in charge of at Human Community Relations is the 2026 Fair Housing Seminar. In April, we always do a fair housing event for the Human Relations Commission that we also in Community Relations runs. So that commission, the event is usually the last Friday in April is when we do it. April is Fair Housing Month, so that's why we always correlate it with April. But we want to let this board know you're welcome to participate. We will usually have some information about both our boards. So we do a booth and we kind of set up some information about this board, and then we do it for the HRC itself there at the event. And we welcome you to attend and make sure you start getting on in your calendars, because as board members with this, we encourage you to attend, and you're welcome to attend part or all of the sessions. So it's April 24th for 2026, and it will be in the same event venue that we used for the accessibility seminar. So it's going to be at the OCCK's training room again, which we found that we started using them last year, and we found it to be a very nice venue and very accessible. And that concludes my update on the
Okay.
unfinished or other business.
Okay. Public forum, we do have, unless there's somebody online, is there somebody online for public forum? No. Okay. Okay, just the updated, upcoming dates for the meetings are listed in your packet, so you might want to put those on your calendar. Other than that, is there a motion to adjourn?
I motion, Commissioner Heck,
Okay.
to adjourn.
I second it.
Motion has been a vote.
All approved.
All approved, say aye.
I.
Aye.
Aye.
All against, say nay. Okay, meeting is adjourned.